And welcome to channel KT4, broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. You can join in today's show by seeing questions via the comments button on your screen. During the show, please feel free to press the like or share button. And if you're watching on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. Now, what a day I've got here today with these wonderful people coming in, and I've got some great members of the Association of Concert Bands. For the first time on my show, here they are. So please welcome Gail Brechting, who's the president-elect. Hello, Gail.
Hello.
Tundi, chair of the Service Committee and Research for the COVID-19 Forum, as well as the Naxos Music Library Project. Busy man, Tom. And Sarah McElfresh, membership chair, webmaster, and chair of the competition contest. Welcome to my virtual studio here on the outskirts of sunny London, England, and it's great to see you all.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yes.
Okay, Gail, let me start with you. Okay, so Gail, you're in your 24th year as the conductor of the award-winning West Michigan Concert Winds. Under your direction, the Winds received the John Philip Sousa Foundation Sudler Silver Scroll Award, America's most prestigious community concert band award. You've also organized 4 international tours with the Winds. Wow. How incredible is that?
Yes.
Now, the concert band, let me have a look. I actually think, are you ready for this, Gail?
Yes.
I've got a picture of you. Let's have a look.
Oh,
there we are.
Look at that.
Isn't that impressive?
That's a beautiful hall.
Right. So, the Association of Concert Bands, Gail, is both an American and an international organization. Please, could you tell our viewers something about it? We're really interested to know.
Okay. Well, first of all, really glad to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation so we can get the word out about ACB. It was founded in 1977, so it's over 40 years old, the organization. And in America, an organization like that, that's 40 years old, that's a long time, really. And it has shown in some of the things that we do. One of the things that the band's mission statement has talked about is how we are so much wanting to support community bands, municipal bands, adult groups, anything like that, through performancing, through education, through advocacy, anything we can do to help a community band in America and abroad. We are an international organization, and we have 2 or 3 different bands right now. We're working on our international part of what we are. But we do a lot of things, and we'll be discussing that as time goes on. But it's an organization that is there internationally for any kind of a concert band, community band to be part of, so that they can take some information that we have and then use it with their people. You can belong as an individual, which is what we encourage. Bands can join as member bands. There's corporate memberships. There's many different types, and we'll discuss that later. But that's basically what we are. There's a lot of things we've done over the years that have really made good advantages for you to belong to this organization.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated by it because it's such a large organization now in the United States of America. And I know that I'm down as one of your advisors for the European part of this. And I'm keen by putting on a program like this because I think that quite a few people from the UK will be watching this. And it's an opportunity for them to get to understand a little bit about the Association of Concert Bands and hopefully get them to engage just a little bit in it. But thank you very much, Gail. Much appreciated. Tom.
Sir.
Okay, Tom. Or should I say Colonel Tom Rotundi Jr.
Thank you.
Leader and commander of the U.S. Army Band Pershing Zone between 2005 and 2011. Your military decorations include the Legion of Merit, the Meritorious Service Medal with 5 oak leaf clusters, the Army Commendation Medal with 3 oak leaf clusters, and the Achievement Medal with 1 oak leaf cluster. I'm saluting you now, sir.
There you go.
That's pretty impressive stuff, Tom. Okay, I've got a question for you. I hear you've been doing great work in the Naxos Music Library. What are the benefits to the membership of the ACB?
Well, the Naxos Music Library, I think, is one of the greatest benefits with the ACB. You know, it's available to students, to individuals, to families and life members of ACB. And, you know, Naxos Music Library is a online streaming service. And Naxos has about 2 million recordings on it. So, I mean, you can hear anything from military bands. Matter of fact, your bands, we can hear your bands on Naxos. Yeah, you can hear just great orchestral work, but it's such a great variety of music on Naxos. And it's a free benefit. It's a free benefit for any of those memberships that I just mentioned with ACB. It's wonderful. I mean, you know, if you try to get a streaming service and pay for it yourself, some of the other streaming services, you'd be paying about $10 US a month. You know, but here you go. You join ACB and you get it for free. You get 2 million recordings for free. It's just wonderful. It's good stuff.
It's incredible. I want to be a part of that. You know,
good. Sign up.
A bit of downloads coming on here. I mean, thanks very much, Tom. Sarah, great to see you. And now, Sarah, you live in Newport News, which is Virginia. Okay. Where you're a member of the Peninsula Concert Band as a member of the euphonium section. I actually have a picture of you, and I'm going to see if I can just dig out this picture for you, because to me it looks like, yeah, isn't that sweet? That to me looks a bit.
Yeah, my daughter took that
baritone.
Yeah, well, that is that great debate, right, between euphoniums and baritones and the shape of their bore, but that is a euphonium.
Yeah,
but absolutely. It's often called a baritone.
Okay. Anyway, your role includes the National Membership Chair, Webmaster, and Chair of the Young Composers Contest, which we're going to talk about in a moment. And your educational background is in genealogy and planetary science, with a Bachelor of Science from St. Lawrence University in upstate New York and a master's degree from University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. You've been involved with community bands since you were a child as a member of the color guard for the Canton American Legion Band in Massachusetts, and later performed with them, as well as 6 other community bands over the years. Wow, Sarah, planetary science.
Yes, I don't do much with it now, but I am not trained in music aside from one class I took in college, because everyone had to take an art class, and I did a music composition class. But aside from that, but that's kind of typical of many of the members of community bands. We don't have backgrounds in music. I don't do much with my science anymore, but I did spend a lot of years and a lot of money working on those degrees.
Well, that's funny. Look, the ACB produces a really impressive journal for its members. How often is it published, and what kind of content is covered within the journal? And I think I've got a picture of the journal somewhere for you. That's one I found online.
Yep. Yeah, that I believe that's the San Antonio. I'm going to get their name wrong. It's either Symphonic Winds or Concert Band. I believe that's the group out of San Antonio. The journal comes out 3 times a year in February, June, and October. And it has a little bit of something for everyone. There's articles about playing healthy. There's a series we have from the Conductor's Corner, where a different conductor writes an article every issue. How to conduct better, tips for conductors, what it's like to be that conductor sitting in the ensemble. But playing healthy, new music reviews, power practicing tips, band history, music history. There's a little of everything in there. It's a fantastic journal.
Yeah, I've actually found it very interesting when reading through the journals that we have all these music programs that various bands are performing, and you get to see a lot of different repertoire that the community bands are playing. A lot of the repertoire, of course, being a little old Brit, yeah, I don't get to see a lot of this repertoire, but hopefully now I'll find it on Nexus, Tom.
Of course, yes.
Gail,
yes.
Right, ACB is all about and for community bands. What kind of things have you been doing with the West Michigan concert wins to keep the band engaged and connected?
Well, thanks for asking about that. Our rehearsals are on Thursday evenings with my band. And one of the things I decided to do, there we are.
There you are.
One of the things that I decided to do was on Thursday nights, which I've been rehearsing and playing on Thursday nights with my bands for many, many, many years. And so it just felt very odd to me to not be getting ready and going and getting things set up and setting up chairs and getting the music going. And so I decided about the second week that we didn't have rehearsals, and it's going on 13 weeks now, that I was going to go ahead and do some kind of a message to my ensemble on Thursdays. And so I've become more creative with it, of course. It started out with just an email to our members and letting them know that, I missed them, to connect with them. That's important to them. We are such a social organization, and we come together. I think we are really realizing how very important any kind of organization you belong to, where you get together with someone, really truly is. So I send that out. I call it my quick quips. And as I said, I've done 12 of them now. One of them I did where I did it all on called Photo Booth, which is a little way to do a little movie, a little video. And they really liked that because then they could see me and hear me. I think that's really important. It's been great to see you, Graham. I haven't seen you in years, and to see Tom and Sarah. We email and things, but to actually see people's faces, hear our voices, I think that's really important. And it's been amazing how many people have come back. I try to put links out there that I find throughout my week for my brass players, my woodwind, my percussion, just to give them some things to think about. I know some people don't read it or listen to it at all, but there are many who do and who come back and say to me, keep doing it, Gail. It just helps us know that, you love us and that you're thinking about us and that we're important and that our ensemble will hopefully come back. There have been a few other ideas I've seen that other ensembles have done. They've done things where they come together virtually and do like duets and trios and things. We haven't ventured into that with my ensemble yet, but it certainly is things I've heard other groups are trying to do. So that's just a few things. It's connecting. I do a thing. I just started it this week called Coffee Chat. And on Thursday mornings at 10 o'clock, anybody that wants to chat with me, we do it on Zoom. And this week I had 5 people, and I'm sure it'll go more. I have about a 70 to 80 piece band normally. So that's going to be gradual. I really think my group would probably prefer it to be a cocktail chat instead of coffee chat. So I think I may try that one in another week or two. But it's been really fun. And, you have different types of personalities. So those people might join for different reasons, band as well as want to connect. So that's just a few things that I've heard of and that I'm doing.
That's good. You're talking about Zoom and cocktail chats. And I'm an accredited lecturer for the Art Society. Right. And I gave my very first virtual lecture on Zoom to an art society down on the south coast. And they had never been on Zoom before, a lot of them, older folk. And I had 53 people on there. And they just all were chatting away and going absolutely crazy. And I suddenly noticed when I saw people coming up, funnily enough, they all had a glass of wine in their hand because it was 7:30 in the evening. Yeah. So I eventually managed to mute them all and then gave the presentation throughout. And then we had a bit of a Q&A afterwards, which was good fun. But you talk about connecting with musicians. I'm also the president of the Brentwood Imperial Youth Band. I'm very proud and honored to be the band president. And they keep sending me clips of things that they're doing. And we had I don't know whether this happened in the US, but here we had the first thing that happened was panic buying toilet rolls.
Yes, here too.
Okay? So they put up a video and they had all the band members and they had a toilet roll and they were throwing the toilet roll and it was going to another member on a different camera shot, and it went through. And it was just getting them all to connect with one another.
Right.
And keeping together. I looked at some footage from Sweden recently. The other day was sent to me, and they had a brass quintet that was social distancing and performing as a 5-piece, which is good news. So lots going on there. Tom, you've been undertaking a great deal of work for ACB's COVID-19 forum. What conclusions, if any, has been reached by this research?
Well, I've been doing a lot of research for the forum. The forum was put up by our president, Susan, and by Sarah here, just so we can get people to make comments. I mean, people can comment or view it. So we wanted to have it as a place people can talk about the COVID, what they're doing, but also as a place for resources too. And probably what I've been doing more than anything else is trying to check out the different resources that are available through other agencies that I can post on our forum there. What I can tell you right now is that there was a big research project being done by the College Band Directors National Association and the National Federation of High Schools. It's a COVID research project that's going to deal with aerosols. And this project is being done at the University of Boulder, Colorado in Boulder. And the same study is going to be done at University of Maryland also. But ACB is proud to be part of that coalition now. So those are the things I'm kind of doing right now, is just looking out for resources, maybe posting them on our forum, and kind of going from there. So I invite anybody worldwide, people from Britain, to please come to our website and make comments on our forum. Yes. Okay.
I think it's a good idea to go to the website and have a look at the forum. I did go through it, and there's a whole series of topics to discuss there. When you talked about aerosol, there's been some research going on in the UK where they're talking about if you're playing a horn, how much aerosol's coming out there. Actually, most of it is coming out of the bottom. Where you're just getting rid of the excess water and things like that. How far is it, and how dangerous is it? Because the other thing that comes around is people have got to be confident to be able to perform together. I presume, and I'll just go to our military connectivity here, Tom, and I presume that the social models which are coming together at this moment in time, that the social models that the community bands are going to be using in the future, the military are going to be complying with the same. I think that's the only way it can work, can't it?
Yeah.
Well, you have to. I mean, you just look at community bands, but also choruses, any musical organization, professional orchestras, military bands. I mean, we all have to abide by the same rules, I guess, if you want to call it that, right now, because we have to keep social distance. We have to stop this virus from spreading. So we have to stop transmission. A lot of these things you find on the forum, a lot of these resources talk about that and talk about things that we're trying to think forward about doing so that we can kind of slow this virus down a little bit. Yes.
I was amazed a couple of weeks ago. I turned the television on. We celebrated here, we celebrated Victory in Europe, the 75th anniversary of Victory in Europe, which in normal times, this would have been, lots of street parties, parades in London, flag flying, bands marching. It would have been absolutely stunning. But of course, that couldn't be. And the BBC put together a program using actors and various other people to celebrate the achievements of Victory in Europe 75 years ago. And I was amazed. There was a part in the show where they had actors and singers, and they had a selection of music that they were singing, and they were being accompanied by a guards band who was social distancing as what I call a square band, so a marching band, and they had them all 2 meters side by side, 2 meters back, and they played, and it sounded absolutely incredible.
Right. And you're seeing that everywhere too. I mean, even at our recent Memorial Day wreath laying at Arlington Cemetery, you saw a single bugler, a single drummer, play taps, but in the background to play the U.S. anthem was a brass quintet that was social distancing too, instead of the whole marching band out there. So we're all doing the same things now too. Yes.
Yeah, I think just going back to the Brentwood Imperial Band, I was talking to their director about an hour or so ago, and he was saying that because they're about 90 or so in their band, and this is interesting what they're doing, because they've got a large rehearsal room, and they've created a 35-piece band social distancing, 35, and they're having 3 rehearsals a week. Band of 35, then a different band of 35, then a different band of 35, and they're going to rehearse that way once, of course, they're allowed to have larger groups. And I think that's quite a clever, innovative idea by this youth band. And I think it's something that everybody should think about looking at. Sarah, sorry, it's been a while. We've been chatting away about bands, all sorts of things. So you're the chair of the Young Composers competition in partnership with the John Philip Sousa Foundation. Who's eligible, and is there any deadline for entry?
So any composer who will be 30 years old or younger by June 15th of this year, which is our submission date for the current contest, is eligible. They just have to not be lucky enough to have been so far along in their career that a publisher has got them on contract. So young composers who are writing concert band music, they could submit through our website. The deadline's the June 15th, so a little over 2 weeks. And it's roughly a grade 4 piece of music, about 3 to 5 minutes in length is what we're looking for. And the idea is to kind of introduce the world of community bands to young composers, let them know they don't need to just be writing grade 6 music with 15 percussionists. While that music's great, most community bands don't have that many. And so we're just trying to help young composers out and get new music into the repertoire for community bands.
I think it's an absolutely amazing, amazing initiative, and giving young musicians, composers, a platform on which to put their work out through the Association of Concert Bands. And I wish everybody success with that. That's one thing we can do here. Composers can sit and write. And then they can submit their works electronically, of course. And I'm sure you've got a panel who are going to be judging this. And hopefully, in the not too distant future, we'll be able to listen to these wonderful works being performed. Now, I've got to ask you a question, Sarah. I'll ask you a question here because you're the membership chair. So how do you become a member of the Association of Concert Bands?
Well, it's very easy. You can visit our website, which is acbands.org, and you can click on the Join Now button, which will then bring you up to, there we go. We'll walk you through a form asking for some information, and then for your money, we have a variety of levels that has been mentioned before. Individual is probably the most common for the listeners, maybe a family, but the membership benefits are essentially the same. It's between an individual and a family. But it's very easy, can be done through our website with any major credit card, or you can also mail a check to our secretary in Ohio, and there's a paper form as well on our website.
Okay, Sarah, is it easy to, for example, for me or for other people in Europe to become a member? Is it very simple to do an online form? And
absolutely, and that's one of the reasons way back when we first moved to being able to take credit cards was to make it easier for our friends outside of the U.S. So the credit card company will deal with the U.S., the dollar conversion, and you just go to the website and you just have a little more information to fill in because your address structure is different than ours. It's no different than as if you were here. So please come check us out. And if you have any personal questions, you can email them to me at the address that you had up on screen earlier,
just put it
or
back
through
up
the website.
just for a moment. There you go. Thank you very much, Sarah. We'll leave that up a second so people can write that down if they want to. Just chatting to the three of you now, it's really sad to see so many events not taking place. You must be suffering from the cancellation of these wonderful community events, from the tours of the West Michigan Winds, the cancellation of Music at the Summit, and of course the Associated Concert Bands' very own conference, or convention, in fact. And where do we go from here, guys? What's the plan?
I think that's a good question for the world of
Everybody.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
I can say that the Association of Concert Bands, we have a committee that is talking about what can we do now for our members in the lieu of someone finding the ability to get, a way to get everybody back. If we finally get a vaccine, then I think things will become much smoother. However, the convention committee, we're talking about doing webinars about every other month or every 2 months for our members that are more specific to some things that would go on. As far as other things, I think we're on pause. The world's on pause in the music world, trying to do things. I will say that one of the things Tom talked about that had to do with this whole webinar that was done and found out about all the research that's going on. There was a lot being talked about schools, universities. These are also places where we have bands here in America that how are we going to even approach having the arts in our schools and in our universities? This was talked about greatly and in detail. There's a lot of good research going on because they really feel musicians tend to be problem solvers. I don't think it's going to go away. It's just going to be different. And, that part of it, I'm very excited about that kind of thing will happen. Also, there was a composer consortium that went on worldwide, apparently, that at least they discussed. And the composers were challenging themselves to, okay, so the schools are going to have little tiny bands now. How could we take a classical piece of wind literature and create it for 12 to 20 people and with odd types of instrumentation? So I thought that was very, very positive, outgoing, out of the box thinking. I liked what I heard there. And one of the composers mentioned that he really felt that this was going to be a golden age for music and what was be happening, because everything will change and it'll allow us to not go away, but to come back stronger. And I really do believe that.
That's a great positive thought there, Gail. And one of the issues here in the UK at the moment, there's a number of things that we're looking at. Of course, London is an epicenter for music, the same as New York and places like that around the world. And of course, all the theaters are silent, the concert halls are silent and everything. And it makes you think about two areas here. The first one is, of course, the safety of the musicians and getting them to play and get into the concert halls, get the actors back onto the stages in the theaters. But also, there's quite a concern that a lot of the concert goers now are nervous going forward about buying a ticket to go to a concert.
Right.
And I think part of the changes that's come in these last 10 weeks is that actually social media has come of age as far as music and entertainment is concerned.
Yeah.
And that, I'm sure you're having the same in the US, but we're now having the National Theatre and places like that. They have recordings of their live theatre shows, and they're putting them up so people can watch them.
Yeah.
So, being an innovative and trying to do different things. Right.
I think the arts have helped save people's craziness in their homes. It's gone to show. I also am a retired teacher, and I really, at least here in America, I think families are realizing what educators do for their children, how important it is, because they've had to step up and be part of that, and many have not done that. So I think that also, I think there's going to be a lot more gratefulness going on once we do come back, and I think people are going to perhaps take that as something that's a good thing, which I do believe that for sure.
Yeah, I think that in the just in the short space of time, I was thinking when I was asking you, Gail, if you would kindly come onto the show today, and I was remembering back to me coming to guest conduct
it's wonderful.
in Michigan, and I really loved my time there, and now that just seems so far away in whether that can happen again. The same time with Music at the Summit. I'm so sad to hear that that's been cancelled this year, because when I was there, I had such a wonderful time, and all the folk there were just great folk who just wanted to make music and just loved doing it. And so, I mean, the sooner we get back to normality and we can start making music, I think the better it's going to be for all of us. But we will come out of this better and in a slightly different space, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Of
there's
course,
no
yes,
doubt.
yes, definitely,
Yeah, sure.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, a very big thank you to my guests today. Gail Bretling, thank
Yeah.
you. Tom Rotundi and Sarah McElfresh, thank you very much for coming. And it's been great. I feel as if I've gone over to the other side of the pond and joined you for a day. And I'm now going to bring myself quickly back to Worcester Park. And here it's now 5:30 in the evening. So I've got 30 minutes to go until the sun's over the yardarm. So guys,
somewhere.
yeah. So thank you once again. It's been great to see you all. And I look forward to seeing you in person again very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Graham.
Hope so.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Next time on Channel KT4, I'll be joined by John Paul Willman, the director of the Brentwood Imperial Youth Band. So come and join me, Graham Jones, next Thursday at 5 p.m. summertime here on Channel KT4. Thank you. Stay alert and stay safe.